Hello, today we are going to discuss about IPv6 addresses. So in this we are going to learn about what is IPv6 and its features and why we need the IPv6 IP addresses and how to represent these IPv6 addresses. So let's first discuss about what is IPv6. So IPv6 is a Internet Protocol version 6, which is the most recent version of the IP Internet protocols. So it is also known as IPNG, Internet Protocol Next Generation. So IPv6 is a network layer protocol that provides an identification and location of computers on network and route the traffic across the internet. So as IPv4 addresses, it also provide the net IP addresses to the or identification to the devices in the network. Same way, IPv6 also providing these identification to the computers in the network. But the difference between IPv4 and IPv6 is that in the address size, as IPv4 has 32-bit size and IPv6 address size is of 128-bit. So IPv6 is introduced by IETF Internet Engineering Task Force in 1998, and it also it was introduced to replace the widely used IPv4 addresses that are considered as the backbone of the modern internet. And in 2004, Japan and Korea were first in public deployment of IPv6. Here IPv6 is used first time in 2004. The next is the feature of IPv6. So the feature of IPv6 is that it supports 128-bit long source and destination code, where IPv4 addresses are of 32-bit long and they represent the source and destination addresses. And the header of the IPv6 is simplified by removing all necessary information, so removing the unimportant details from the IPv6 header. It is the header of the IPv6 is made simple. So it provides end-to-end connectivity by providing IP address to each device in network and can communicate through the internet without using NAT. And by removing the header, it makes the faster forwarding and routing in the network. And IPv6 have IPv6 with security, which makes it more secure than the IPv4. It introduced one more option, that is IP security. Next is IPv6 doesn't have any broadcast support. It means it doesn't broadcast the message in the network, but it uses multicast to communicate with multiple hosts. In multicast, the group is created and the message is sent between the particular group. And IPv6 also introduced one more option of anycast mode, in which the packet is routed to the nearest destination in the group, and it enables hosts to roam in different geographical area and remain connected with the same IP address. So IPv6 also use 6 bits, have the 8 bits for the quality of service to define the quality of service of the network. So IPv6 use 6 bits DSCP, differential service code point, and 2 bit for ECN, explicit congestion notification, which provide the information about the quality of service. And IPv6 also supports mode transition, as the header is less loaded, so router can take forwarding decision quickly as they arrive. The next is why we need IPv6 IP addresses. So as to make communication possible between every devices which are connected in the network, each device is get a unique number or identification number known as IP addresses. As in IPv4, the capacity of the IPv4 is 4.2. It provides 4.2 billion addresses to the devices. But with the increase in the internet, or with the development of the development in the internet process, the new devices like computers, smartphone, TV, smartwatches, cars, etc. are introduced, due to which every device wants to connect to the internet. So to meet the demands of new devices, IPv4 doesn't meet the demand of these new devices. So due to the shortage of these IPv4 addresses, many methods are also adopted to prevent the depletion of IPv4, like subnetting, VLSM, and NAT. That these methods no longer able to provide IP address to the network for future demands. So due to this, the IPv6 introduced. As we have discussed earlier, that IPv4 is 32-bit address and it provides only 4.2 billion addresses, which are not sufficient to meet the demand of new devices or the devices which are connected in the internet. But IPv6 is of 128-bit and it is used, which is 4 times more than the IPv4 address. So it provides 340 trillion addresses, which are sufficient to meet the demand of new devices which are connected in the internet. So this is the example that why we need the IPv6 in the network. The next is the structure of the IPv6. So IPv6 address is of 128-bit long and it is divided into 8 16-bit blocks. And each block is then converted into 4-digit and it is represented by hexadecimal and separated by the colon symbol. So as shown in the example, that IPv6 is represented in binary format, that is 8 16-bit blocks, and each block is then converted into hexadecimal, which is separated by the colon, that is 2001 colon 0000 colon 3238 colon DFE1 colon 0063 colon 0000 colon and 0000 colon and FEFB. So this is the IP address of IPv6. As this is a long address, we have the method to make the IPv6 address short. So the first rule is to discard leading 0. So leading 0 of a section can be omitted, but only leading 0, not the trailing zeros. We only omit the leading zeros as shown in the example. Block 5, the IP address is 060063 and by omitting the leading 0 we make it as 63. So shorten the IP address. Next rule is to replace consecutive zeros. So by removing 2 or more blocks contain consecutive zeros, then we omit all and replace it with the double colon sign as shown in the block 6 and 7. These are the consecutive zeros and it is replaced by the double colon. And you see that the IP address is more shortened than the long address. Here still we have seen that here still is the number group of zeros are there. So to replace this group of 0, it is replaced by the single zero, such as in second block. Shown in the second block, the number of the 4 zeros are replaced by the single 0. So in this way the IP address will become 2001 colon 0 colon 3238 colon DFE1 colon 63 double colon FEFB. So this is the IPv6 address represented by shortening the IP address. So this is all about IPv6 address. Thank you.